that sort. Um, Before World War I, around 1915 or so, American troops went into Haiti. During the 1930s, once again, American troops went into Haiti and other parts of the Caribbean. More recently, especially during the reign of the Duvalier family, um, Papa Doc, but then also Baby Doc Duvalier, American troops went in and propped up that dictatorship. More recently, in the 1990s, around the presidency of John Bertrand Aristide, President Clinton sent in military troops to try to stabilize the country. And a large part of that was surrounding Aristide's policies and his movement towards, as a former priest, I should note that he was a former Catholic priest, but he was making moves that were making Haiti's practice of voodoo or voodoo into a more formal or institutionalized part of Haitian society, to the point where actually making it an accepted and open faith practice on the island, rather than keeping it underground or pushing it to the margins. And this was very controversial, both because of the appearance of condoning this kind of controversial religious practice, a folk religious practice that wasn't embraced by more middle class or elite Haitians who wanted to aspire to greater levels of Western norms and acceptability. Right. And it must be stated that voodoo has coexisted with Christianity in Haitian society, but the overwhelming majority of Haitians are Christian. But the two practices or the two traditions coexist side by side rather than being at odds with one another. Also, the most recent U.S. invasion of military invasion or incursion into Haiti in 2004 that caused the removal, the abduction of President Aristide, was once again, I think, very much rooted in this issue that having legitimately ensconced Creole as the people's language and voodoo as the people's religion on the island was was seen as a very dangerous move by outsiders and Westerners, because what would happen if these people now, the average Haitians, were now being brought into their political process, were more fully brought into the life of their own country and society, right? Especially in terms of their religious practices and their customs. But there's always been that tension, especially for many of the islands of the Caribbean, particularly Haiti, where they're living in the shadow of the United States, and literally at any moment, the U.S. Navy, the Marines, the Army, and nowadays even the Air Force can intrude and invade into their backyard.
So let's switch. I know we've gone for a while, but can we switch focus just for a minute to the United States, and then I want to ask a couple of questions about Islam, and then
Sure.
we can wrap it up.
Yes, please.
Even in the United States, there seems to be this, during the enslavement period, there were varying views on whether black people should be Christianized, right? But throughout, whether black people were Christian or not Christian, and even after slavery, it seems that much like the Caribbean, religion has been viewed as the fact that black people engage in religious practices, unobserved religious practices, is a threat, right? Is that not the case? or maybe we should think about it another way.
Okay.
Um, maybe we want to talk about forms of black religion in the United States and how they have contributed to black people's or African Americans' cultural identity. Right? Either way.
Okay.
I think
Well, either way, to understand African people anywhere in the world, but especially in the North American or United States context, is to understand us as a people of faith, or people who have had to find faith in some of the worst, in the worst contexts or experiences known to humanity. To understand many of the contributions of Africans or African Americans, especially here in the United States, it comes through the framework of what we collectively and commonly refer to as the Black church. Nowadays, not exclusively so, but predominantly. So whether you're talking about a style of rhetoric and performance that we generally refer to as a Black sermonic or preaching style, right? And how that is imitated and emulated across the board. So nowadays, if somebody is a powerful and effective speaker, even the President of the United States, Barack Obama, right, it's automatically likened to or imitating or emulating a style that we're familiar with through the Black church context.
and that style of oration is a retention, is it not?
I think so. I mean, first of all, the I think about Zora Neale Hurston and her loving Black people's ways with language and with words, and how her ethnography, and you see this captured in her literary works as well as her short stories, and her more formal kind of work, her book of folklore and such. The idea that that love of language, that ability to play with words, has been something that has been a continuity throughout our historic and geographic experience. Also, the need of that kind of sermonic power to be able to speak. We wrestle with this notion derived from the African concept of nomo, of words having power and being able to speak things into existence. Well, this concept isn't something that should be taken lightly within African and African American cultures or traditions. So the idea that you can speak words of life and not death into a situation or into the life of an individual or a group, it's very powerful. And we've seen historically examples of that, that kind of great oration. You think about ranging from folks like Marcus Garvey on through to Malcolm X, Dr. King,